Alrighty guys, welcome to a very special video. As you can see, we've got none other than Larry Wheels here in Brisbane, Australia, looking large, and we are going to go through today the finer details of arm wrestling. Larry, as you guys know, he's strong. It's clear he's strong. I think he's almost in the category of strong enough to get the job done already. So today I'm going to try to share with him some of the little details that I've learned in the 9 years I've been arm wrestling, and we're going to hopefully send you back to Dubai with some tools that you can really impart and work with in your training. So
Beautiful.
let's do it.
Looking forward to it. All right, let's get to work.
Awesome. All right, so man, at the end of the day, I see arm wrestling first of all as a big fluid dance. It's kind of we know it's a strength sport, but it's very much a combat sport as well. So as we experienced in our match, I got the victory on you not because I'm stronger, but because I just was able to combine muscles very simultaneously and effectively against the smallest amount of muscles that you've got. So I was attacking just one little thing and trying to combine it with a whole bunch of things. What you want to avoid in arm wrestling is first of all getting stuck on just doing one thing. Now, what I felt in your setup, for instance, if we go to the typical setup that we had in a comp, so show me the exact sort of style setup you would do in a comp. Leaning forward, that low grip, there it is there. So I feel straight away that there was pressure from your hands. That's where your lead threat was. You got all this bicep here, and there was nothing threatening me this way. Now, that is something that we'll talk about in styles, but what I want to give you most importantly is a method of identifying and being able to feel what's going on in arm wrestling. Because at the end of the day, I don't think the best way to learn is with moves. If you think about moves, you're going to get stuck in it. But your brain, when you feel things, you start to go, oh my goodness. So what we're going to do is a strategy I call steaming eggs. It was kind of developed when I arm wrestled with Devin Larratt for the first time. So if we group up, and what we're going to do, this is beautiful for rehab, which I know you're sore, I'm sore, all that after pulling. We're going to start in the cup, and we're going to add like 10-15%, that's it, back push, and get your elbow light on the pad. So be able to float straight away. Want to be able to move around. Okay, that's good. So that's the state of pressure. Maybe touch more, 10% pressure. Yeah, there we go. Now, from here, we can experience so many different things. In a comp, you get to experience normally one thing. And the comp does tell you the truth, but you're limited in how many ready goes you can get and how many losses you can get, because the losses really are what we're looking for. But when we do this, we're going to start to experience more colorful things that arm wrestling offers. So straight away, what I want you to do, keep that pressure on, is we're going to maintain a little bit more and float and drag me back a bit. There we go. Get that balance. Now keep that balance there, right where our hands are in the center. What I want to do is play somewhat of a game where we try to fatigue each other we don't try to pin each other, but we're trying to force the other guy to say, tap, I'm out, too much lactic acid, without actually increasing the force. Now, let's just step into that and we'll talk through it as we're doing it.
Okay.
So straight away, you're going to get the opportunity, as you can feel, it's a live thing. You can feel all the different variations of what's going on, and you learn to start to create traps, you learn to create bed spaces, and you start to recognize the value of little movements. Now, you'll see that our position has changed substantially already. No one's forced anything, but I'm just filling the gaps that happen at the moment. So see how I've already climbed up into your hand even further. There, good, nice adjustment. But you can see how it's changed the contact. I've already gone up an inch in your hand since we started without forcing it. And that all happened just through micro little movements of filling the gaps. So try to incorporate now, what I'm gonna get you to do is incorporate some back pressure. So with your hand there, what you're doing was great, nothing wrong with it. What I want you to do now is start to experience both the front of the elbow, the back of the elbow as well. So spend some time on down pressure, some time on rising. So let's go again.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Good. And relax your hand as you're doing it. Like it's good to be strong, but it's better to be dynamic and being able to move. Slight supination, slight pronation. When I go up, you go down. When I go down, you go up. Like all these little movements here. Okay. So now we're experimenting and we've kind of got the feel for it. Now what I want us to do is actually have a bit of a battle in a lactic acid sense. So if you find a position during this little negotiation where you can sense that I am bleeding faster than you, keep me on it. And then if I try to run away, you chase me and keep me on it no matter what. So I don't know who's going to have better lactic acid tolerance, so we'll find out. So if it's me, I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to try to attack your pronator constantly.
Okay.
No matter where you go, I'm going to try to keep it on your pronator. So as the fatigue starts to set in, instead of just concede, I don't want you to stop pulling, keep this pressure on, but look for a way to change it. There we go, good, good. Now you see I can't attack your pronator now? So you've just found a way to attack me and prevent me getting on your pronator. So your brain, your hand has just felt something, and it's going to start to remember these things. And all of a sudden the lactic acid is now building up in me, so it forces me to change as well. I start to look for something else. There we go, now we've got different parts of the arm. Good, you're putting me back on the bit that was working. Good, keep me on it, keep me on it. That's it. Nice, nice. You got good lactic acid tolerance too, you bastard.
It's burning.
It is? Good, good. Keep it going. So I will do this, honestly. I'll play this game 10 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes, continuous like this before someone taps out. And you'll go through all the phases. You'll start going silent, you start laughing at yourself, start thinking, oh man, how do I deal with this tolerance? Good, good, good. Oh, there we go, I took something then. Oh, you're savage when you just come back in. Nice. Nice. Your hand's blowing, isn't it? Your hand's blowing, yes. Nice. All right, let's rest there. So how did that feel?
Painful, but I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm taking baby steps, feeling when you talk about pronation, and maybe applying some down pressure, down pressure stops that. When you rise, again, down pressure.
Yep.
When you're rising, sorry. So when I'm rising, I should be putting down pressure. And when you're putting down pressure, I should be rising.
Yeah, generally speaking, yeah, that's if you're hard countering, which just means blocking someone fully, versus like a soft counter where you're creating almost a 90-degree threat. It's going to be different. But the point of that, like when you say it was painful, I'm hoping it was a good pain.
Oh yeah, good pain.
Like rehabilitative sort of painful. Like lactic acid is pumped right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But this is in terms of the rehab, this will do wonders for you. This will really get the blood in a nice way. You won't get any flare up from this. That's one of the side benefits, but the biggest benefit is definitely the technical awareness, and just the neurological efficiencies that you can experience. Because, like I was saying, when you hit ready to go, it's done. You either win or you lose. Now, we'll take to the next step and we'll talk about how to use your strengths. Because what I felt in the comp was very different to what I felt in the afterpull. And in the afterpull, I was hoping to feel and kind of assess your best weapons, and you've got an insane weapon right there. Like honestly, I've never had someone pin me in a hook just using raw bicep. And when I say raw bicep, when we were in the hook, I had the ability to limit your pronation. When you rolled, I could keep your pronation down, but you just said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go underneath and just, and you just drive essentially using all that body position. And so your bicep is more superior to my side pressure and my lat combined, which is phenomenal. Like that just doesn't normally happen. So your bicep strength needs to be a weapon. Now, when you come to the table, wrist rise, Devin Larratt will talk about the hill, the priority of the hill, where you get control from. And if, like in all fights, having the high ground helps. and it puts you in a position where you can dictate the lane. And now, for you, with that massive hook pressure, it's important that you get the chance to access that whilst genuinely scaring them on another area, on the outside area. So when you come to a grip up, no matter what, you know you're going to have a stronger bicep than your opponent on 99% of the time. So I want straight away for you to be on the back of your elbow. Back of your elbow. You can still have your energy forward, ready to come in, but I want back of the elbow, creating a sense in your opponent that, oh shit, Larry's going to use his bicep. So when you statically, like regardless of where your hand is, whether it's high or low, when you statically just create up pressure for me,
like this.
Yep, tighter, and make it feel rigid. So more. There. Okay. So I always want the feeling when I'm gripping you. I want to feel like I'm having to chase you. You want to put as much pressure on that causes me to have that sensation of, oh shit, I'm chasing. If you stay dead center, even if you're squeezed, if I don't feel that sensation, it's going to give me permission to tee off here. But if you create a feeling in me,
as such.
Yes, yeah. Right now, I'm panicking because if I go, keep that on. If I attack here now, I'm underneath your hand. Your back pressure is protecting your wrist. Okay, it's not your wrist flexion. So straight away, remember how we're talking about combining muscle groups. When you do that, you go once more. You're now combining your back pressure chain with your wrist flexion against just my pronation. So you've got a better ratio. Where when you're down here low, you've just got cup and side pressure, and your side pressure is not developed like your bicep is. So it's virtually just your hand against my back pressure and side pressure. And the side bonus that I know everyone was talking about on YouTube, I get my cup for free. Okay, when you grip that low, you can't prevent my cup. There's nothing you can do, no matter what.
No matter how much I cup here,
yeah,
you're still cupped.
I'm gonna get cupped too. So high setup for you is the basis. Now, I suspect when you go high, sometimes you feel like you get trapped into needing to top roll.
Right, I do. Yeah, I think I'm starting high, but I need to come down for a hook.
Absolutely. So if you grip high again, so load that pressure up. So what I want you to do, open your hands. Let's imagine you're in a ref's grip. And I'm gonna go really high. Okay, and you're gonna create that sense of me having to chase you. Good. And even in a ref's grip, you can do that through the meat of your palm. Okay, you can show someone, hey, look, I'm rising, and they're gonna start getting scared. So show me that you're rising in the subtly.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Good. More. Yeah, like that. That sort of pressure. You're gonna have to square the hand up, but you can still show me just in the skin contact that, yeah, that's good. Now the ref's just gonna say center. So you come to center, but still keep that static intimidation. Good. Now I'm panicking already. It's ref's grip, and you're gonna see me start to say, ref, get our webbing here. Ref, come on, help me out here. And so keep that thread on.
Keep the thread on.
Always keep the thread on. But just keep the thread on whilst negotiating with the ref, coming to where it is. Now when we close our thumbs, okay, straight away all of a sudden the threat goes up again because I've got more contact. I can feel this potential. I'm constantly feeling the potential, and it makes me have to do one of two things. I either have to take a deep grip and shoot in, which is great for you, or, again, give me the pressure, or I'm going to take a shallow grip and run for the hills. They're two good options for you because if I take a deep grip, you just crush me in a hook. If I take a shallow grip, you just control my hand and wrist, and I probably don't even get the slip, and you just pin me. They're two great options. But in terms of getting into the match, when you post up like that again, okay, and then someone responds, if they come up with you, all you have to do, I mean, you can feel that you've got access to a hook there, can't you? You can just, you can just supinate, drop into your bicep, and you're straight into that hook. If I'm low hand top rolling and you do that, still, okay, load it nice and high, there it is. You can still, from here, just high side pressure off the go, just gentle high side and cup. Then come to, yeah, and you're just gonna push this, you're just bumping him off center. If it's a top roller, just bump me off center, 2 inches from center. And my top roll, it's all about, if you look at the pin root of my top roll, when I'm at center, the pin root is just here. If you bump me from center, the pin roots become this. So just with a simple, you've got the pecs, you've got the shoulders to do it, just a simple little, that, off the go, just, that will change everything. just a bump. So nice up pressure, and just bump me sideways, good, and then drop into you.
Then drop down.
Absolutely. So that, in a basic sense, is the kind of foundation of setup, given that your biceps are phenomenal. It really, really will, I think, give you a platform to dictate control. Remembering that if you control the high ground, which you should be able to, you get to dictate the lane. Now, the one thing that might throw a spanner in the works is your wrist. If your wrist rise is not as strong as your bicep, which relative in the arm wrestling world, that's going to obviously be the case right now. There might be someone out there who has a stronger wrist than you, but a weaker bicep. Let's experience that. I don't know, let's both post up. We know your bicep's stronger, but there we go. I think my wrist, we're close, we're pretty even. But you can see that you haven't got wrist dominance over me. So if you haven't got wrist dominance over someone, but you have better bicep, be okay dropping your wrist. So drop your wrist.
That's a bit.
Dallas Langston does this. So just drop your wrist to wherever you feel like it'll stay stable. Okay, and then when you post, you're still going to post with that bicep, create all that up pressure off the good. That is genuine threat. The more genuine threat you have there, the more I'm going to panic and the more open the initiation of the inside becomes. So I guess at the end of the day, it's just establish genuine up pressure. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. That's clear. Yeah, it does make sense.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Are you going to make that up pressure and then dive into a hook somehow?
There's, the diving is not necessarily what you want to do.
Okay.
Diving often gives the ability for your opponent just to tee off.
Pop roll.
So when like if I want to set a hook, my biggest thing is I want you to feel genuine threat in a top roll sense. So let's imagine we're gripping up genuinely again.
Okay.
If I'm going to set a hook, I'm going to go really past, and then I'm going to keep my wrist high, and then I'm going to get back to center. And I want you feel like there's something here, don't you?
Yeah.
Like there's a chance, there's a risk that I'm going this way. But if I want to set a hook, because you respond to this, it creates the open door for me to come inside. If I just shoot without load, I'll show you what shooting without load feels like. So you do your up pressure again. If I'm shooting without load, it's just there's no threat in your against your fingers. You have the opportunity to just rock sideways, which is kind of what I did to you in the comp. You had threat there, no up threat, so I got a free hit kind of thing.
It made your job easier.
Oh yeah. It made it, and that's at the end of the day, it's just the experience of knowing that I knew what I had, and you didn't know that I had it, and that only comes through the gripping. Now, the last lesson I want to give you is how to put it all together and how to discover more than what you think you are. At the end of the day, we don't want to get stuck in the curse of strength. You have come to the sport with so much strength that you're at risk of staying in simple lanes. And I want you to start to experience every single lane there is. And I'll give you a little, this is a tool that I did as a kid playing tennis, and as an early arm wrestler. I do this all the time. To be honest, I still do it. You know that light pressure thing that we did at the start?
Yeah.
What I want you to do is, in your mind, go to a training session and see if you can do this and see if people pick up on it without you saying that you're doing it. I want you to be someone else. I want you to say, I'm gonna be Devin. I am going to literally arm wrestle like Devin at this light pressure, but I'm gonna literally pretend and give my best impersonation of Devin in his mannerisms, even all this kind of stuff. But most importantly, in the way he moves on the table. Imagine yourself as Devin, try to recreate a match that you've seen of Devin's, or John, or Prudnik, or Kadecha, or anyone that's got a different style than you that is elite. And what that will do, so let's go back to that light pressure, is, so I'll be John Brzenk, for instance. John Brzenk, he'll grip people like this, so have his hips away from the table. Okay, and then you just ease him that gentle pressure.
Okay.
John will arm wrestle like this,
Wow.
and then he'll turn his cup on. And when you do that, so now you be John, hips away from the table.
Hips away.
Okay, and then really post back, and then climb at the same time with your wrist, and then as my wrist goes, cup. So the more you can perfectly mimic their mannerisms, what you're going to discover is why they do it. You're going to discover why they move that way on the table. So rather than just dancing around like we were before, which was great rehab, dance like John, dance like Devin, dance like whoever that you aspire to be like, and your body will start to go, oh, that's why John does that. And oh, okay, so when I go like this, man, that feels good against a certain style. Or that didn't feel good against this style. Because at the end of the day, your brain through your hand will learn more from feeling than it will from verbal theory or move-based theory. How's that sound?
Okay. I feel like I mimic John.
Yeah, well, we don't have to embarrass ourselves on camera by trying
Yeah.
to right now, but keep it secret in your head, and you don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. But keep it secret because you will discover things. Like Todd Hutchings, easy to be Todd Hutchings. He'll grip like this and just sit there like that. So we can do this at 15% pressure. See, be Todd. Be Todd.
Okay.
Feel what it's like to be Todd. Good. Okay, and that lighten the pressure up. Good. Yeah. So when someone attacks Todd, you're now realizing what they're attacking. What are they? It's his fingers that they're attacking always. It's never his wrist. Good, because he supinates in and he just jams. And if anyone dares come in, he just drops down and smiles at him. So, so you can straight away identify, oh, Todd's critical things is this and an elbow. And ultimately, man, you do all this as much as you can. You constantly audit yourself, and you can become just a whole lot better, a whole lot quicker. Because strength isn't your problem. It's directing the strength that will get you the furthest down the track. And when you direct your table time like this, not only will your efficiency and your tactics and your combat skills go up, but your conditioning will very quickly arrive in the places that matter most. Because right now, broad movements in strength, broad movements, they'll hurt you, and they will make you stronger and more conditioned, but not in the things with the greatest reward.
Understood.
And